Welcome to the Edinburgh Fringe. We're into the final week. Gather your strength and fortitude. You've got this. Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Edinburgh Calling, and we're into the back half, the back third of the Edinburgh Festival Fringe here. Well over 3,000 shows. Given we've got, let's say we've got till Sunday, you've got well close to 20,000 performances to go through. And if you're in Edinburgh, you've got a chance to find out just a few of them. And if you listen to the podcast, well, this week we've got some shows, but we're also looking a little bit at the fabric of the Fringe as well. One of the key returns for many acts and troupes that come up to the Fringe is to come away with something tangible for the CV. That could be selling out a crowd. That could be the number of standing ovations. It could be, meeting new people that can further your career. But some of the most notable ones are very good reviews and picking up awards. There is an insane amount of competition to get the reviewers in, but specifically for this episode about the awards. Any of these things can really set the tone of your career for the following years, but there are some that have a huge impact on you. Yet, for all of these awards, they need people to run them. What does it take to manage and run one of these tentpole events? And the ISH Edinburgh Comedy Awards started in the years after COVID and brought a fresh look at the comedy scene across the Fringe. With over 700 eligible shows to see in 2025 alone, it's a huge undertaking to see them, to judge them, and to decide. On the 4 awards, Best Show, Best Newcomer, Best Tech, and Panel Prize, can careers be built? There's no question about this. Can careers be built? Can careers be built? What does it mean to the artists? And why would you undertake this endeavour? I decided to find out more and spoke to ISH's Sarah Bowles. Sometimes there are luxuries in terms of interview spaces at the Fringe. Sometimes you can have a great velvet-lined studio. Sometimes you're in a student flat kitchen and it echoes, but you still have some wonderful company. Hello, Sarah. You're the wonderful company.
Hello, Ewan. Pleased to be here. Pleased to meet you.
Sarah Bowles, one of the names behind the ISH Edinburgh Comedy Awards. Tell us a little bit about them.
Now, the founder of the awards is the multi-award winning Nathan Cassidy, and it all started 3 years ago when there was an announcement by Nika Burns that she didn't think what a lot of people call the Perrier Awards were going to go ahead that year. So Nathan came up with a plan, put it out on Facebook. An awful lot of people said that's a good plan. He spoke to me and we said, yeah, let's give it a go. So we started the ISH, which stands for insert sponsor here, Edinburgh Comedy Awards. Then, wonderfully, Nika Burns Awards went ahead as well. But we got a fair bit of communication from Nika and she was really happy with what we were doing. So we were persuaded to go ahead as well, which is what we did. So 3 years ago, the first ISH Edinburgh Comedy Awards started. We have a team of volunteers, most of whom are in Edinburgh anyway, but some of whom come up specially to work on the ISH Awards. We try and see every eligible show in the comedy section of the programme and produce a long list, a short list, and winners in newcomer, best show, Best Newcomer, Panel Prize, and this year we've added extra awards, which are Best Tech and the ISH Joke of the Fringe.
I love the fact that Nathan has started the whole thing with a pun and the joke is the ISH Edinburgh Comedy Awards. Now, Nathan is busy right now. He's a working comedian at the Fringe. Do you know how his Fringe is doing?
It's doing really well. He's got 2 shows, and we've got the showcases. He's getting great reviews. He's getting great audiences. He's loving his shows. I've seen them develop over the year, and they've come together in an amazing way at the Counting House. So Piracy is his afternoon show at 3:15, and It's Not the End of the World is at 7:15, I think, at the Counting House again. But yeah, mostly selling out and having rave reviews.
We will have links to those back at our website as well, so you can get in and get yourself organised for the last couple of days of the Fringe to get there. But I do want to talk about the organisation, because there are obviously a lot of awards at the Fringe, and they all have the same sort of logistics that are required to go and see a lot of shows, to go and discuss them. So when does your planning start for the awards?
I mean, it's an ongoing job. We try very hard to build on our previous success. We do look for sponsors every year. We have had sponsors every year after the first year, but we literally had a couple of months to get it sorted the first time. So there's a fair amount of work dealing with the sponsors, but also taking stock of what went well, what maybe didn't go so well. We haven't had a huge amount of bad feedback, so that's a good thing. So yeah, it's a whole year project, but I guess it ramps up about Easter time.
So you will presumably get a very, very big spreadsheet from the Fringe office to work through.
Exactly, yes.
I've got one of those spreadsheets as well with the press contacts and the site, and I look at it every May, and I just look at it and just go, how am I going to sort through and decide and timetable just for me? And I'm not trying to see everything. So how many shows this year were eligible?
I think it was 720 this year. It's always around 700, or has been so far.
And what makes a show eligible?
So if it's 45 minutes or more and effectively doing the full run of the Fringe, doesn't have to be exactly 25 days. They can have a day off in the week, but it's very difficult to do short runs because we need the judges to see the show at each stage. So if you're not here in the first 2 weeks, then you miss out on the first stage of judging. So in effect, you won't be eligible to go on to the long list. And if you're not here for the second 2 weeks, you can't then progress from the long list to the short list to the winner. So it's some shows which start in the second week will be eligible, but they're the 2 main criteria. So in the comedy section, 45 minutes or more, and effectively doing the full run.
And how are they judged? Because comedy is quite subjective.
Comedy is very subjective, and that's one of the things we're most aware of. I love the way our shows are judged, but also it does give the potential for some very, very good shows not to get listed, which can be upsetting, particularly if you're friends or flatmates with some of the very, very good acts who haven't made it on the list, but that's a whole other story. So it is, in the first round, the shows that go onto the long list, one of the judges has that as their favourite show of the Fringe, and I think that makes it quite special. Everyone who's been on the list is adored by someone. And then when you get into the second and third round, it's more collaborative.
So does that mean each show's only seen once in the first 2 weeks to get through the 700 odd shows?
We commit to seeing each show once. This year we've got a lot closer to each show being seen by 2 judges, because we have more judges this year, and hopefully if the awards keep being successful, that number will grow. But yes, some shows will have only been seen by 1 judge.
Now, as we record this, you've still to vote long list to short list, but you have voted onto the long list. What sort of impact has that inclusion given the artists?
We believe it's very positive. We have had incredibly positive feedback from artists. We do make sure we see a lot of the free fringe, a lot of the free festival shows, and a number. And I mean, it is overwhelming. I can't pretend it's not. Some of the acts who are delighted to be on the list just overwhelms me. You know, some really established acts. We're here hopefully trying to help comedians have a bit of a boost halfway through the Fringe. One of the reasons I'm involved with ISH and with comedy in general is because during lockdown I realised how badly COVID hit comedians, and that the industry isn't fully recovered yet, and it's such a vibrant industry for this country. There's such talented people, and I'm really frustrated that it's harder now to earn a living, I think, in comedy than it used to be. So the whole idea is to be positive and bring a boost. Now, I fully appreciate people aren't going to come back to us and go, oh, well, that's pointless, I wish you hadn't put me on the list, because it just wouldn't make sense to do that. However, we also get a lot of positive feedback from comedians who aren't on the list. So that's why Nathan and I are still doing it, because we believe it is helpful within the industry.
What were you doing pre-COVID then in the comedy world?
So pre-COVID, I produced a couple of shows in London at Camden Comedy Club. I do a little bit of stand-up myself, and my parents used to have a jazz pub in Dover, which my sister and I have now inherited, and I used to run comedy shows there.
Favourite jazz record of all time?
It's definitely a Louis Armstrong track, but I couldn't really be drawn on.
I did put you on the spot there, really, didn't I?
I think the trouble is I can't quite remember the name. I think is it the potato? It's not the Potato Head Blues, but I call it the Potato Head Blues.
There we go. You have had so many people go on long lists and short lists as well as the winners, even in the short life of the awards. Have you taken any of those to heart personally? Have you made a really strong connection with any of these acts?
Yes, I think so. I mean, last year, every year, these are acts that we find exceptional, and you meet new comedians. I know quite a few comedians, particularly in the London area, but we always get diverse opinions within the judges, and which means we get diverse acts on the list, and you make friends with a number of new comedians that I may not have experienced otherwise.
And also involved, there are a number of established comedians that have lent a lot of support to the awards, and some of them, would it be fair to say, went above and beyond in terms of the awards and the prizes?
Yeah, absolutely. When I talked about the encouragement we received from people who haven't made it on the list for whatever reason, absolutely, some of the comedians sponsoring awards has been very, very encouraging. Patrick Monaghan has always been the host of our award ceremony. He is one of my absolute favourite comedians. I would say I'm too much of a fan for me to ever nominate him for one of our awards, but What an absolute star.
What does it feel like to you, after having those moments in COVID, to not only be a part of the fabric of the Fringe here in Edinburgh, but also have the Fringe become a part of you?
I mean, yeah, I love what we're doing, and it's great fun. It's hard work. We try very hard to do it as well as we can, but I would say I've got a way to go before I'm part of the Fringe. But
and if I asked Nathan if you were a part of the Fringe, what do you think he would say?
I think I think you'd have to ask Nathan that.
So the awards themselves, I assume Patrick is hosting again.
I assume you're right, yes.
When's the award ceremony? Because people can people come along to that?
Yes, people can come along. I think we generally do sell out quite quickly, but the award ceremony is the 22nd. There's a pre-awards party, 11:30 at night on the 22nd of August. So the actual awards are officially the early hours of the 23rd. So Saturday morning, maybe 1 a.m, the awards will be announced, but effectively we're still up from Friday night.
Yeah, and those are going to be listed back on the website, where we'll find the long list and tonight the short list.
The short list, I believe, is released at midnight tonight, but it'll certainly be released tomorrow. And
we will have link back, as I said, to Nathan's show, but also to the awards website as well. Back at our website, Sarah, it's just really nice to know that the Fringe can always find a gap and grow and just adopt everything. So thank you for bringing it.
No, thank you.
And thank you to Nathan, who's not here, but Nathan, thank you for bringing it. If he's listening, he's going to cheer himself at that point there. But again, thanks for your time as well.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Sarah Bowles there from the ISH Comedy Awards. The 2025 ceremony will be at the Counting House Ballroom, which starts at 11:30 in the evening and then right through until Saturday. But it starts on Friday, the 22nd of August. We'll have a link back to the Comedy Awards homepage, which will give you links through to sort out your tickets as well, back at our website. As always, edinburghfringe.thepodcastcorner.com. And as always, link, like, love, share, subscribe, all of the usuals. Consider leaving us a star review if you can, or if you've got some time, a written review on your podcast app or client of choice. It really, really helps the show grow. But for now, that fortitude, I think I've got enough to get me through another day. Come back tomorrow and I'll tell you who I've found. But for now, ta-ra. You've been listening to the Edinburgh Fringe Show, hosted by Ewan Spence, produced by the Podcast Corner for Spence Media and Radio 6 International. Listen to more from the Fringe at edinburghfringe.thepodcastcorner.com.